Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest trapping video. Today I'll be showcasing trapping clips on two of my solo traps. They are both quite big, they both have tier 4 now. I was using them for their leaderless trapping, that's why they're a little bit larger than the regular solo trap. And it has a different comp just because the damage increase and everything. I'll actually talk about that today as well, but the first clip here I'll be showcasing the 2000 IQ trap, sorry. This will be the 2000 IQ trap where I get people to burn my ult and then the leader walks back. It looks like a couple people are falling for it in this one. One of them is sending his leader, so I have to make sure I counter that one. Try not get countered without my leader due to the basically stat increase in the game, which makes people do more damage, and I'll explain more about that damage increase in this video where we're doing some tests on it. So if you guys don't know, the damage has changed, and it's not based on like they literally just made people do more damage. They made people's stats matter more in the fights unless the troops the troops mean less than they used to. Because it used to be, if you had a lot of troops, you could trap people leaderless without any stats or anything like that, and I've been doing that for years. As soon as I don't know, it was about 6 months ago, I started noticing there was a change in that. If I ever got full countered without my leader, I'd be taking basically double the damage of what I was taking before. In this situation, I did not get countered, so it was good, because again, if Huckleberry here hit me full counter, he's probably going to do over 1 million damage to me, just based on what I've been seeing. Like a 900% stat guy is doing 1 million damage, where a 900% stat guy before was doing like 500k damage, so keep that in mind. So again, I will go over here as well. This is another 2000 IQ trap. You can see they're up in the top here. That is actually my ult burning. This is during KVK. They decided to port around my ult and gangbang my ult. My ult does not have any troops, so it's totally fine. What it does is it releases my leader back to my base, and I'm hoping someone will actually port on there and trying to get that leader, sending an attack or sending whatever. So it looks like Kinger is coming in here, scouting my turf. He will find I have an anti on, so it might deter him from actually going in for a full attack since he doesn't have my comp. But sometimes people just think you're an empty castle and they'll go in for it anyways. Like the previous clip where the person sent their leader and sped it up and tried to get me, but again, obviously I have enough troops to cap that, and if I get full countered, I'm in trouble. If I don't, I should be okay. So you can see that in the previous clip, I only took like 200k, even though I don't have my leader at the time. So this one he sent 250,000 tier 2 gladiators, going to go in for a second attack. This is siege attack. Apparently he thought I had a wall, maybe, because sometimes if you don't send a leader to attack, you will get eaten by their wall. So he's sending a siege attack. That obviously got eaten and did 16 damage to me. He ended up giving up after that, unfortunately. So this is where the point gets fun. So this guy, Ava Cadavra, if anyone knows him, you can send him the video because he was really cool. Ended up having a good conversation with him throughout this trapping clip and stuff like that. He was a lot of fun. He was getting a little frustrated, I think, and a little confused on what was going on, but all in all, he was a really, really fun guy too, or fun, I don't know, guy slash girl, I don't actually know. So, but yeah, it was fun to have a little conversation with them and all that. So this is going to be his attack, or, well, not really an attack, a bigger attack than the first attack. I am doing Lord's Cup. If you guys are wondering what's going on in this situation, there are balls going around. I'm just stealing people's balls, and obviously he's in the Wonder trying to burn solo traps and stuff out of the Wonder, so that's kind of what he's doing here. Again, he has 131 castle stars, so no slouch by any chance. He does have pack 5 milliers, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, of course he does. He's 131 castle stars. He's got full mythic gear, all that stuff. But that was kind of just like a siege attack. I'm not sure if he thought he didn't break my wall, but again, oh, here he comes. Here comes a actual attack. So he's sending his cav in there. Again, I'm sitting in my speed up gear, I believe, at this point. So that attack there hit my speed up gear. My speed up gear has decent stats, but like 300 cav and range and about 250 inf, if I was guessing what my speed up stats are. So if you're wondering what's going on here, that's what's going on. So he decided to go in for an actual attack there. It looks like he did 151k with his pack 5 familiars and only 91k to my front line. It's pretty normal damage, so he's not doing crazy amounts of damage. But again, what I was trying to talk to you about before was the stat increase. Basically, people's stats matter more in the battles, so with the counter research and this stats now, if you are to counter someone and the person has very low stats, you're going to do a ton of damage. Where it didn't really do that as much before when I was doing the tests and stuff like that back in the day, right after counter came out. I tested with some max counter people and it didn't really matter as much. They're doing more damage, but it wasn't crazy amounts. I was taking, let's say, I think I took from Nash was like 750k, I believe, from his 1000% full counter blast with 60% counter while I was in my construction gear. Now that would be doing probably, I would say, he'd probably do like 1.8 million damage to me nowadays, with the same stats, keep in mind. I guess he decided he wanted to go in. He thought he might have been able to burn me, sorry. But like I said, about the counter, I was kind of testing it through this video as well because, yeah, I was trying to get to see what was happening with the stats, what would happen if I changed my stats, how much would it affect the battle and stuff, because I'd already taken some hits without my leader and with low stats, so I wanted to kind of see what would happen if I had my gear on, and then what would happen if I kind of knocked 100% stats off my gear, how much more damage is it adding, because I know how much it is when it's basically at nothing, but I wanted to see how much it would change. So I am in my full gear right now, so I was getting ready for that. Let him counter me here. He did 570k on the counter. Again, that's not all from my front line. Some of that is Pack 5 familiar damage, so I wasn't actually expecting him to go in. So because I basically released his leader and then I thought he was done because I had already capped him before, but he decided to go in again. I already had my war gear on, so it wasn't a big deal because yeah, so he decided to go in and do it again. He ended up full countering me, which is good because I get to see how much damage he would do with my gear on. So he's basically doing about 570k with my gear, which is a little bit more damage than they used to do, but not crazy amount more, like within 100k sort of thing. So you see he did 423 to my front line, which is normal, and 147k with his Pack 5 familiars. So this is all kind of normal to what it used to be. Obviously, that has not changed too much. So if you have higher stats, you're not going to see a big damage increase in how much damage they're doing. You might see a little bit increase, and it might be more on rally traps, but you're not going to see a big increase when you have your gear on, because again, when you have your gear on, you have lots more stats. So like I said, stats matter more than they used to. So that's kind of what's going on here. So you can see that's how much damage he's doing. He does double up Pack 5 familiars, infantry blast, all that stuff. Doesn't have 11k heroes or anything like that, but yeah, so that's all normal. So what I wanted to do was actually take off half my stats, because normally I'm running around 400 mix. But if I take off my, like, half my gear and actually just put on my speed up gear, my stats are around 300 mix with a little bit less on one of my stats, because I think I'm like 250 infantry, 300 cav, 300 range. So that takes about 100% off my stats. I want to see how much of an increase in damage he would do if I did that. I've took all my gear. I kind of know where he's at. He's at over 1 million, because I've kind of had a couple of people around his stats do that to me anyways, so I don't have to really test that in this situation. But yeah, so you can see this is what my speed up gear stats are. So yeah, a little bit off for what I said, 10% off, whatever. So it's very similar. So again, I'm going to get him probably to go full infantry into me again, or at least if he goes full infantry, I'm not going to try and counter him. So because again, this wasn't an actual test. This was more of a he wanted to keep hitting me and see if he could burn me sort of thing. But I was just kind of letting him do it, but I was kind of using it as a test as well while we're doing this. So yeah, so I was still like watching just in case they tried to gangbang me or something like that. Because again, there was no agreement here or anything like that for a test. So I'm just letting him know I won't counter. Like I'm having a friendly conversation with this guy, so it was kind of fun. Like he's having fun hitting me. I'm giving his leader back, and yeah, I'm having fun trapping him as well. So so there wasn't much at stake here, but other than him trying to burn me and not realizing there's no way he could burn me, but I wasn't really letting him know that, so until maybe a little bit later on. But yeah, so so to like summarize it, the more stats you have, the more damage you're going to be doing nowadays. The less stats you have, the more damage you'll be taking, sort of thing. So you can't really trap with 200% stats anymore like you could before. You can't just add more troops, because they're just going to keep doing more damage, because you don't have the stats to back up your damage. That's kind of where it is. So if you have your war gear on, you're not going to take a crazy amount of damage, but if you don't have your war gear on, you will take a crazy amount of damage. So that's kind of where we're at. So so again, it wasn't a damage increase, it's more of a, they made stats matter more. Okay, that's kind of where we're at. So anyways, I was just kind of checking, seeing what's going on here, because again, yeah, I'm just waiting to see if he's going to go for another attack or not. I wasn't sure if he would or not, so I'm like, I was actually telling him what was going on. So I told him that he actually countered me the last one, so now he's a little upset on what was going on, but I'm not sure if he was really upset or he's just kind of playing it up for the in the chat and stuff like that, and he's just having some fun. But I don't think it really matters too much for him, because he seems to keep attacking me. So he's going infantry. I am in range. I have lots of time. I could counter this if I wanted to. Decided to let him hit me and see how much damage he would do. I know I'm going to take reds because I don't have my war gear on. We'll just see how much it is. So he did 221k. So taking a look at that, so he did 676. So I took about 100% stats off my war gear. He did about 50% more damage than he did in the other one, because he did 470 to my front line in the first hit with my full war gear on. He did 670 without my full war gear on, so about 300% stats. So he's basically did an additional 50% damage from just those 100% stats. And if I took off another 100%, had like 200 mix, he would probably be doing about 1.1 million, close to that much damage. So an additional 50% on top of that. So that's kind of where we're at. So the stats that didn't matter so much before now matter a lot. And if I had 500 mix, he'd probably almost do 50% less than that. So that's kind of where we're at. So obviously the Pack 5 familiars are not going to change much unless my HP or defense changes, but they're not really doing much damage to begin with. Like 147k with Pack 5 familiars, not a ton. Like, it doesn't matter what he was sending, he was going to do 147k anyways, because Pack 5 familiars are auto damage, if you guys are wondering. That damage hasn't really changed at all. So I haven't seen an increase over probably the last year when I was doing it. It's just the actual damage the troops are doing. It's just does more if you have higher stats now, or that does more if the person has higher stats than you, than what your stats are. Because like I said, when I used to leader this trap with this comp and take no damage even after the counter came out, but I'm not sure when they changed this, but yeah, it's now just doing crazy amounts. So I kind of have to have actual stats now if I want to solo trap on these accounts. Again, I showed another video before this of another rally trap who had about 1 million of each tier 4, like they do rally trapping, taking 1.5 million damage from a solo attack from a full counter while he was in his fake gear as well. So you got to watch out even if you're a rally trap nowadays, just because they do so much damage. So that's kind of it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I will have some more videos coming out this week, have some more community showcases. Just wanted to get this video out because, again, I can't leave these clips too long, so I gotta actually put them out before they get too old, because I don't like posting my own clips for probably a couple months after I get them, just because people know what kingdom I'm in and all that. It kind of ruins trapping. So usually when I get my own clips, I wait a couple months before I post them, but everyone else's clips are pretty much the same week, so that's up to them if they want to post it so soon. I don't like doing that because it does kind of slow down how many people will hit you if they know you're in your kingdom and your account and the might of your account and all that stuff. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something about the quote-unquote damage increase. Again, it's not a damage increase, it's more of a stat change on how much stats mean in a battle compared to what they used to mean, and what troops used to mean compared to what they mean now. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.